So if you love brownies, you already know that there are many different types of brownies. There is the fudgy brownie, like my Best-Ever fudgy brownies. There is my crinkle top brownies that have that lovely kind of shine on the top. There's also my better than box brownies, which are just homemade from scratch, better than box brownies. But there's also a chewy brownie. Now I'm going to show you how you can make a chewy brownie today using this one simple technique. And you can use this to make any brownie batter a chewy one. First off, we're going to mix together all our wet ingredients, and then after that comes my secret tip. Into my nice big bowl, I'm going to add in here some melted butter, a little bit of vegetable oil or any flavorless oil that you have, canola oil, sunflower oil, whatever. Brown sugar. I like to use dark brown sugar because it gives you more of a caramel flavor. White sugar, 4 whole eggs, and a generous splash of vanilla extract. So my secret weapon to make the chewiest brownie, an electric mixer. Now you can use stand mixer, I'm using a hand mixer, and here's what we're gonna do. Put it into your mix on high speed and let it just beat for around 5 minutes or so. You want this mix to get really thick, pale in color, and nice and bubbly. What we're going for here is a nice thick texture. So now if you're wondering, can you do this by hand? Yes, you can, but without the power of an electric mixer, it's going to be hard to get that mix really lovely and thick, and that's what makes it chewy. So just try and get it as thick as you can. So now while I'm beating these, I have time to tell you that this recipe is on biggerbolderbaking.com along with all of my other recipes, my brownie recipes, my cookies, my cakes, whatever you're looking for.
Gemma, what's your favorite type of brownie?
I think my favorite type of brownie is my crinkle top brownies. I love that because it's a little bit of everything. It's kind of fudgy, it is a little bit chewy, and it has that lovely shiny top that I just love. Like I know when I see a brownie that looks like that, I'm gonna love it. But you know what though that I haven't mentioned yet, and I should have, is brownie brittle. Brownie brittle is amazing. It's a really thin brownie batter. You bake it up nice and crisp and you end up with these like brownie crisps. I also got a recipe for that, and that is so good. So perfect, that's been 5 or 6 minutes or so. This is nice and thick, fantastic. Now I'm gonna set my mixer aside, bring in my sieve, and into my sieve, I'm going to add in my cocoa powder. Now for brownies, it's really important to use unsweetened cocoa powder. Don't use hot chocolate powder, don't use sweetened cocoa powder, just a good quality unsweetened cocoa powder. Then we're gonna add in some plain flour. And of course, very important in brownies is salt. Chocolate and salt are best friends. They go everywhere together and they should be in your brownies. So then just sift these ingredients together. You'll notice that I always sift cocoa powder because it can be lumpy. And if you don't sift out those lumps, it's very hard to get them out of your batter. Perfect. Then just gonna go in with the whisk and combine the batter. Look at that. It's like chocolate lava, absolutely gorgeous. So just before it comes together, I'm going to toss in my chocolate chunks. So what I do for my chocolate chunks here, I don't buy chocolate chips in the store. I get a big bar of bittersweet chocolate and I chop it all up. So you end up with big bits of chocolate, you end up with small bits. It just gives you lovely flavor, texture, and gives your brownies a really nice look. It also melts really well, and chocolate chips don't always melt really well. So that's why I like to use a bar of chocolate. So here I have an 8x8 brownie pan. This is a square little pan. These are great for making brownies. 9x9 also will work well. I have it lined with parchment paper, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pour in my batter. Oh my gosh, this bowl is really heavy and it's such a thick batter. But all of the air we got in here, all of the bubbles, all of the volume, that's what's going to give us a cakier, chewier brownie. So what I did do is I held back a little bit of chocolate chunks. I'm just going to sprinkle them over the top just so you also have some melty chocolate on top when they're coming out of the oven. Beautiful. Bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for roughly 45 to 50 minutes. The secret to baking brownies perfectly is you don't over bake them. They still want to be a little bit soft in the middle so you get that nice fudginess. So our brownies look and smell amazing. See that they're kind of crinkly on top, and you can see that kind of like, the reason that we whipped up the ingredients so much, it creates this kind of like meringue effect, and that's what gives us a chewy meringue. You can see the results of that on tops of the brownies. I'm going to go and cut this while it's still warm, because why not? Brownies are the best when they're warm. And I can hear my knife just like the crinkle as it cuts through the top of the brownie. And I can feel under the inside that it's like really soft. So let's have a little look to see if we ended up with the perfect chewy, cakey brownie. There we go, look at that. Gorgeous. So you can see it's not a typical fudgy, gooey brownie. It is like cakier because we've whipped up all of those ingredients. It still is fudgy in the middle, but it has a slightly different result and it's that bit chewier. So I'm gonna try one right now. Oh my gosh. I love this. It's kind of like airy and has all these lovely bubbles in it. And it's kind of chewy, especially when you get those lovely outside pieces. So whether you like a chewy brownie, fudgy, box brownie, I've got a recipe for you, so check out all my other videos.